worry.
You are now currently showing as Dan on the
Me?
No, what Harry is. But let me see if I can quickly change that for you. Boom! There we go.
Oh no, it's all right. It's all right.
No, mate, you're Harry again.
Oh,
Now. Don't worry.
Del.
Do it.
That was unfair. That was unfair.
So Manchester United. I love Ollie.
They're not even from London.
No. But, he's from.
You guys are from
Manchester,
London,
right?
He's more of a Cockney geezer than you guys.
He's from Manchester, right? He must be because he's a United fan.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So yeah, he must be.
I like our kid, Bardell.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Footy Fetish podcast. We've got a full house today with myself, Alfie. Well, with myself, you know me, Alfie. With Ollie, we've got H, and we've got Bards.
Good.
Yo. How's everybody doing this week?
Busy, mate. Very busy.
Yeah. Same here. That's why, I have to apologise that we didn't get a podcast out on Tuesday or yesterday. Just a combination of being busy and Transport for London just not working. My train was delayed by 46 minutes yesterday getting home. The others were all cancelled. Everything coming through East Croydon was an absolute nightmare.
That's got to be longer than the train journey itself, isn't it? That delay.
Yeah, no, it is. Yeah, it only takes like if I get the quick train, it only takes between like East Croydon and London Bridge, like 15 minutes, if that.
Right.
So yeah, it was an absolute nightmare. I didn't finish work till about 7:30 anyway, so it was just a nightmare getting
Was it
home.
like it kept getting pushed back?
Yeah.
Otherwise
There was an incident involving, I'm assuming someone, because they said about police and stuff, so I'm assuming someone jumped on the tracks or something, so it was all a bit of a madness. Not nice. But let's talk about football, guys, because we've got a lot to talk about, get it through. It was a bit of a mad weekend of football last weekend. We'll go through a few reviews, the main ones, the ones that matter, and then we'll do a bit of previewing. But seeing as we have Bards here, we might as well start with the big one. the bounce back game, I suppose, or Ollie's masterpiece, shall we say. 3-0, obviously, away win at Spurs.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good game. Like, it was a good result. They needed the result. They needed the clean sheet. Had this been Tuesday's pod, I would have said wait till tonight's result, or wait till we find out what happens in the Atlanta game, because that's sort of the one that's important. And putting that aside, let's look at the two results. I think it's fantastic, and I would have taken a draw against Atlanta and at least a win against Spurs. I mean, he's come in for some criticism. He's been under pressure. I think it was obvious in that game, the Spurs game, that the players were playing for him. I thought the system worked well. We needed to. There's a lot of criticism about going to the back five and people calling it a back seven. But at the end of the day, he shipped 5 goals. Like, I would have said doing that was more of a message to the centre defenders to be like, if you can't sort it out, then I'm going to have to play 5 at the back, So I think that was more of a message to like the team to sort it out. We look good. Cavani was brilliant. I'm really glad I finally got to see Ronaldo and Cavani together. That was something that I've been calling out for. And when we played at Atalanta and we saw them 2 again, and we had to change because Varane got injured, I thought we would do a 4-4-2. Don't really think it felt like that because we put Greenwood on and didn't have Sancho on, which so I feel like it was more of a 4-3-3 at that point. But I would have liked to have seen a 4-4-2, just have Sancho as a right winger, traditional, whipping the balls in if you can. But yeah, I can't complain. It was a great result. We needed the result.
I think Ollie might be a bit scared to play a 4-4-2 because he's already come under scrutiny with his tactics. If he then goes to a classic 4-4-2, people will be like, "Oh, you know what I mean?" They'll spin that in a way.
I just would have liked to have seen it at Atalanta. Yeah. That's all. I'm not saying that against City, absolutely not. But no, I think it'll be interesting. Do you know what? Like when we were losing to Atalanta, I was like, I'm actually so sick of football. I was like, I can't deal with it. I was like, I can't deal with these emotions, man. But you know what, like, but then as soon as the goal goes in, you know, you love it. But yeah.
Of course, yeah, and what a goal it was. Well, two back-to-back games with Ronaldo scoring absolutely incredible goals.
Yeah, but the first one was just, mate, what a strike! It was
yeah, that Spurs goal
so
was outrageous. And then
he did
the
so well to set up Cavani.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, exactly. He did. Yeah, unbelievable. Yeah, I don't know. Obviously, Ollie masterclass in this being for the Spurs game. Get Nuno sacked, and get your number one replacement rumour in the Spurs job. It's a wonderful piece of mastery there from
definitely a bit of 4D chess going on, isn't it?
Well, exactly, man. Exactly. We're all playing checkers, and he's just playing chess out here.
We've just had a message come through from the Rap Kid saying, "How's everyone doing?" Good, mate. Thank you for joining us again.
Thank you. But yeah, talking about, I suppose we should talk about a bit about Spurs. Obviously, I guess we should just get the elephant out in the room out the way. Antonio Conte is their new manager. Yeah. I don't know if anyone really expected this. Thoughts, guys? Anyone want to take the lead on this?
I think Daniel Levy must have just been like, okay, here's a blank check. Right, whatever you want on there, because obviously it wasn't enough to bring him in during the summer, so they ended up with Nuno. But now it must just be desperate times call for desperate measures, really.
I wonder if that is
throwing money at him.
It was because obviously he did turn down the job in the summer, so I wonder if it is just a paycheck or if they did sort of just.
I'm not sure if it was his personal paycheck, but probably the money that he would have got from the club to spend during the summer and stuff like that.
Well, I saw that he said he wants 270 million at least to spend.
Even with financial fair play, you can't spend that much.
No, and Tottenham's
how much to bring it
in. Yeah. Well, Harry Kane's also been rumoured to now not be looking at a move away, but I think Conte, obviously bringing in Conte, has sort of changed his mind, which is interesting, I suppose. Does anyone believe him or?
Not really.
He wants to leave.
The issue I don't know. It's a big. Where he's going to go. It's a big statement bringing in Conte.
It is a big statement, yeah.
But if you're Daniel Levy, you bring Conte in, you have to know that his expectation will be for you to give him money.
Yeah. No, it's the only way. The only way he took that job.
If you want Conte to operate well, then you have to be prepared to do that.
They're going to have
that Young. Staying may be good for Kane if that does happen.
Yeah, true. It'd be interesting to see because obviously, there was a striker at Conte's previous job that was pretty out of form before he before he started working under Conte. Obviously, Lukaku went for the big move to Chelsea, so it could be quite interesting to see how he revives Harry Kane's season. I suppose Son will be pretty interesting to see how he plays on under Conte as well. But I don't know, it just feels like a weird fit. It doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's how I kind of felt about Poch, to be honest, when Poch first joined Tottenham. I kind of felt that he was a bit of a weird fit, but he did all right there. Didn't do too badly. So
yeah, absolutely.
The biggest problem he's got is sorting out that defence because it's like
true.
Well, it's leaky. They've got Dyer at the back. Harry Kane, I think that's something to fix. But again, if he is going to go, I imagine the majority of that 170 or 270 pity is from Harry Kane's transfer. But then I don't think anyone really wants to buy a Harry Kane now at his age, or especially for the £150 million fee, which if you're Daniel Levy, you would have said, yeah, we'll give you this much because we're going to sell Harry Kane for X amount, which again is meaningless because we've seen Daniel Levy doesn't stick to his words. I think it could all end in tears again, but the Tottenham fans will take to Conte.
The only team I could see realistically going after Kane is PSG, especially with Poch.
Yeah,
and they've always had that question about whether they don't really have an out-and-out number 9, do they? So
no, that's true.
Do you think City have lost interest in Kane now? Then
I don't know because
they need him.
Well, a big factor of what's different between this year and last year is Haaland, isn't it? And his sort of situation. So I think he'll be I think, and rightfully so, he'll be number one on the list of people that want strikers.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It'd be interesting. I could maybe Newcastle. Maybe Newcastle want to give him a bag, and Harry Kane goes to Newcastle. Who knows? I'd play under Eddie Howe. That'd be great.
In his whole management career, the only time Guardiola's ever worked with a proper striker was Lewandowski. Other than that, he's kind of had people playing the role of striker. He's preferred to have people like that rather.
He had Aguero for a while, and Aguero played well under
for a while. But then, even when Aguero's fit, at some points, like last season, the season before, he just chose to play people who weren't strikers. Like Sterling played a lot of striker.
Yeah, true.
He said he didn't have a striker, and then started playing Jesus on the wing.
Yeah, Jesus, who actually turns out he is a winger, not a striker.
Yeah,
he's a much better winger than a striker. But I must admit,
he got to Barcelona, kicked out Esso and Ibrahimovic, and
that's true.
Had David Villa playing up top, who obviously great striker, but wasn't like.
Well, he did boot them
always
out.
Played up front. He played a lot of wing in his time as well.
Yeah. He booted them out, then won the Champions League. So I guess it's probably not the worst thing in the world.
Yeah.
And Zlatan has a track record of leaving teams, and then that team immediately does very well. Which is another conversation for another day. But if you're Dele Alli right now, how scared are you about Conte?
Well, I mean, Dele Alli could. I genuinely think Dele Alli could reinvigorate his career, but then he is also getting to the point where, he can't return from it. If this manager doesn't fancy him, then you really have to question: A, what value is he to Tottenham? How much would he even go for? And also, what his sort of ambitions are? Because he was unplayable at times, absolutely unplayable. It was him and Kane, and then now it's him and Son, or Kane and Son. So I don't know. It would take a lot, I think, now for Dele Alli to reach those heights. But if Conte can get it out of Dele Alli, which I think there is a possibility that he could, and
I think
the best again.
Dele Alli needs to do what Jesse Lingard's done: just go out on loan somewhere for the season, get your confidence back up again, score a couple of goals, build up your confidence, and just come back and reclaim your spot in the Tottenham team. Obviously, Lingard's not 100% done that, but he's playing a lot more than he was, and he's playing better than he was. So it's clearly a better move for him. If Lingard, I think he just needs to go.
Lingard could still go to West Ham in January. To be fair, hopefully he does. That'd be quite good. That'd be good for them as well. Good for both parties, really.
Yeah.
But where was I? I can't remember.
Dele Alli has actually broken up with Pep Guardiola's daughter now as well. They were dating. I didn't know if anyone knew that, but
I didn't know that. Didn't know that.
They were dating. Not anymore.
But it'd be interesting to see what happens.
That explains why Spurs beat him on the opening day.
Yeah. Exactly. But I think this all just won't. Nothing. They're not going to win a Premier League title. Nothing great will come from this. I don't think. Honestly, it's Spurs at the end of the day, and I don't think that they're going to give Conte the money that he so desperately wants. Could get quite ugly again. Could just be another Mourinho situation. Bringing a big name doesn't quite work, and then
only so much a big name can do.
Yeah, exactly, and then at some point it is just a club problem, not a team problem. You'd have to look higher up at that kind of thing. But yeah, the next game's against Everton. I'm sure they'll beat Everton, who are in horrific form at the moment. But yeah, should be quite interesting. I know that Conte's visa has arrived, so he will be able to take the team for the game. And Ryan Mason is the first team head coach, or first team assistant coach, whatever it is, to Conte, which is quite interesting. I can't imagine that was his decision.
No.
That must have been
I think that must have been some sort of clause somewhere down the line.
Yeah, which is not an amazing thing. You probably don't really want to start that off by saying, "Oh yeah, you have to have Ryan Mason as your."
Well,
assistant.
it might be a temporary thing because Ryan Mason obviously knows a lot more about the club than Conte does. It might just be sort of going through the sort of teething issues and stuff like that, the small little issues that there may be at the beginning, he can provide advice through his experience at Tottenham to Conte, which I quickly think Conte will probably either ignore or get rid of him anyway. But yeah,
be interested to see what happens. Hopefully they can do another Amazon documentary on Spurs again.
Oh god.
But yeah, we'll move on to the biggest game of the weekend, the best game of the weekend. Palace beating, fuck yeah. Palace beating Man City 2-0 at the Etihad, thanks to goals from Wilfried Zaha and Conor Gallagher. That boy just keeps getting better and better every game. Yeah. What can I say? Just an amazing all-round game. Played very well, got the goal early due to the high press. Made them make a mistake, and then we defended in a way that Roy Hodgson would be proud of. Was quite resilient. Obviously, we did concede a goal in the second half, but it was ultimately offside. So fair play. It was definitely offside. So fair enough. And then we didn't do what we did against Arsenal and Brighton and sat back and sort of sat on our laurels. We did bring on. I can't remember what time he came on. Let me have a look. But he brought on Elise very close towards the end of the game, which was quite surprising. But then obviously worked well to get the second goal. And obviously a big talking point was the Laporte red card. How does everyone feel on that red card?
Stupid fucking thing, man. It's stupid as in like it's such a stupid mistake to make, not as in it shouldn't have been a red, because I believe it should have been. Yeah, it was definitely a red, but again this comes back to the inconsistency, because the same thing happened in two other games this weekend, one of them being the Arsenal game, and it's just the lack of consistency is just frustrating with it. It was definitely a red card. But it was a ridiculous situation. It was a stupid sort of tackle. What do you expect was going to happen? I do kind of think maybe they should take into account because by the letter of the law it is a red card and it should be fair enough, but I do maybe think they should have a look at it and maybe change where it is on the pitch, because Zaha was through on goal, but there was a wing back coming to cover who could have very possibly have made a tackle or something like that, but it is a clear chance through on goal. So
I think the tackle was bad enough that it could have just warranted a red card regardless.
I mean he did literally just tackle him to the floor. There was he wasn't trying to play the ball at all or whatever.
He's probably thinking, sweet, I'll take a yellow for this and then I would have stopped a goal. I'll take that, but no, not quite.
I'll just say something that I'm surprised, correct me if I'm wrong, but I haven't seen much of it, but City lost their heads like really badly after that red card, and then obviously you saw the thing with Bernardo Silva, Ederson and all that getting booked. We're obviously dealing with Zaha and Jesus, Bernardo Silva giving him a kick and all that kind of thing. It's not really seen it. It was a very PSG-esque, throwing all your toys out the pram and everything because it's not going your way.
Yeah, it did seem that way. I think when you're a team that's used to winning quite comfortably and you have a decision that you feel like isn't just, and then you end up losing the game, I think it's just one frustration after another. And like you said, they just sort of look like they're throwing their toys out the pram, really. And that sort of thing is hard to deal with as a big club that isn't used to losing.
No, but it was I'm very happy. It was a great result.
I think Zaha's goal at the beginning was a little bit lucky because he didn't.
He mishit it.
He did not hit it properly, but who cares? At the end of the day, he did what he needed to do.
Goal. Gallagher and them lots. He scored a wicked goal for the second. Michael Elise, man. I know on with it, people within Palace have been saying this quite a lot, and they do think that he is considering his age and everything, they've put him in a higher bracket than Zaha and Eze at that point, and do believe that he can become a very, very top quality player. Obviously, H, you know a lot about him. He's taken to this league, like a duck to water, basically.
It's actually been quicker adjustment than I thought it was going to. His technique is phenomenal. It's and his ability to deliver passes and
even
see
the way he
sees the game,
body, just shimmying and stuff like that. It's unreal, man.
I thought he'd have to adjust a bit to the physicality, but it seems like
Well, I think
he's got the right teammates there. That he doesn't have to necessarily.
I also think Vieira's deploying him correctly. He's not at the moment he's not starting him flat out every game. He's bringing him on at plus 60 minutes. That kind of thing to have an impact, to give, to get used to the game, and it's working. We saw it happen. It's happened in a lot of games now. I think he's only played like 140 something minutes, and he's got 3 goals and assists altogether. So he is making an impact. I would like to see him start this weekend coming up against Wolves, because we should definitely be looking to be more attacking in that game. But yeah, it's good.
City, when Gallagher scored his goal, I think at that point they must have just been like, fuck it, I can't be arsed anymore, because they allowed Palace so much time to set themselves up in the box, play the right pass, get everyone into position, and no one closed it, but like any of the Palace players down, and you guys quite rightly just capitalised on that.
Yeah, and we got a great result. And I just want to pose a question to you guys real quick before we move on to the next game. So I'm looking at our next fixtures, right? Our next 4 fixtures. We've got Wolves at home, Burnley away, Villa at home, and then Leeds away, before we then go on to play Man United away. That is very possible 12 points, I think, for us there.
Could win all 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could. Yeah, it's a very possible. Like, if you look,
you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, Burnley, Leeds, and Villa all below us. The only one that's above us is Wolves at the moment, and that could be a close one. But yeah, I mean,
well, the sounds of that, I think Wolves is the trickiest one you've got, and Leeds are probably, if anything, going to play into your hands just from the start of play. Fair play to Leeds, they're shit, and they know it. But they continue.
Villa have been underwhelming.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think it depends which Villa turns up, because Villa, some games this season have been sort of done quite well, and in other games they just look like a very different team. I think it depends on which Villa turns up on the day, really.
I'm hoping it's the Villa of current form, because they've lost 4 they've lost the last 4 in a row. So I'm hoping it's this current Villa that we see.
Yeah.
The thing is, by the time you play Villa, they could have sacked Dean Smith.
That's true. That's true.
I'm not sure if they will.
I think it'd be crazy.
I don't think they will, but let's say they lose their next game, that's 5 in a row, and then serious.
Yeah, it's true. How many managers lost more than 5 in a row losses in the Premier League? It's very true. But yeah, I mean, I'm happy with the weekend. I think we're pretty much all happy here. H, I don't know how did your boys go on?
No,
just a shake of the head.
Do you expect Vieira to do this well, or embed his style, this quickly? Because I think that's taken everyone by shock. Is how quickly Vieira's been able to transition his style of play into that team.
I'll be honest. No, I think I said on this podcast that I wasn't going to judge him before we see anything, and I was open to his appointment. And I did say, because of our start, I thought that if he's out of the relegation zones by Christmas, I'll be happy, because of the hard start that we had, and obviously the team, all the new players in the team, an unproven manager. But I mean, this has just exceeded all expectations. I mean, people were having us to be relegated, having Vieira out by Christmas, and he's just been nominated for Manager of the Month. So, we're unbeaten in our last 5. Obviously, 4 of them, albeit draws, but we're unbeaten in our last 5. And I mean, I'm very happy. I couldn't be happier right now. And if we can, if we can keep up the way we're moving at the moment, I don't think anyone expected Vieira to be able to implement a style like this with us so quickly. I don't even think anyone thought Vieira had a style. But yeah,
very true.
I mean, if we keep going like this, there's no reason why we can't at best push on the door of the top 10. I don't think it will necessarily happen, but I think if things continue well and form goes well, I don't see why we can't push for that.
Yeah, definitely. I think obviously it was massive win for you guys against City, but it's those games where the couple of games beforehand where you should have won, those are the ones that are maybe going to sort of hurt you down the line. Like
we've learned now, we've got enough time to make up. Do you know what I mean? Like, they won't affect us too badly if we move on that already. But if it creeps up again, then for sure I will still be worried about not hitting that top 10. But yeah, I mean, I'm pretty happy. Did you guys want to say anything more about that game or anything before we move on?
City fuck my fantasy again.
Yeah. Oh, Ollie, you're on a bit of an Aston Villa trajectory right now.
Honestly, it's just pathetic at the moment. I don't know what's going on with City.
me and H are getting nosebleeds for being up that high up the table. You know.
Do you know trade?
I think a slide's about to happen for me as well.
Do you want to trade Allison for Edison?
No, I'm fine, thank you. But to be honest, Allison's not been doing that great for me in the last.
Well, this is the thing. I thought if anyone's gonna potentially swap like a keeper or a dead, I thought maybe Edison for Allison. They're pretty much on a level at the moment. It just means that all my games don't just rely on City keeping clean sheets.
Yeah, but
yeah.
I'll think about it. But I guess Ollie, you've been a happy lad this past week, right?
I have actually.
Yeah, we can finally talk about Arsenal potentially being like seriously. Oh, I mean, like just fine. Like we don't need to necessarily worry about Arsenal. Maybe there is a plan. Maybe there is a pro.
Don't you worry, mate. There's plenty of time for this.
Okay,
plenty of time for this.
I'm just trying to be like a shining light for Arsenal fans.
I've learned as an Arsenal fan, never get your hopes up because it will shoot you down so hard. But
it was a good win. You beat Leicester at away. I've forgotten what Leicester Stadium was called there for a second, Harry.
King Power.
That's
King
it.
Power, thank you, mate.
I was going to say the Foxes Stadium then.
You won at the King Power.
Yeah.
You won emphatically, albeit the Gabriel goal was fantastic. Lovely bit of set piece work. The Leicester goal, the Smith Rowe goal was a good bit of capitalising on a bit of shoddy defending, a bit of lacklustre play from Leicester, and can't ask for more than that. He did what he did, but the real man of the match, mate, was the man between the sticks for you guys, Aaron Ramsey. Made a number of very good saves to keep Leicester out. Only thing is, I do kind of think the free kick save's a little bit overrated from what people are going on about Twitter. Because if he doesn't save it, you're like, how the fuck did he not save that? Come on, he's got to be saving that. Because it wasn't like top bins or anything.
No, but I think it was far enough that it was a good save, and I think.
Oh yeah, it's a good save. It's a good save. But I'm not saying it's not like a worldy save or anything like that.
Yeah, I think it sort of reminds me of Pickford, where he sort of goes that. Yeah, he goes that little bit sort of further to make it look a bit better. I'm not saying that Ramsdale did that, but it does have that sort of that hint about it. But it was a great game from him. His distribution throughout the majority of the game was phenomenal. Just pinging balls straight across the floor as well, just pinging balls halfway up the pitch, cutting up Leicester's midfield really. I do think that the only thing that I'm still struggling to get on board with is the fact that he plays with the ball so much and he gets a lot of time on the ball, like Ramsdale, and he obviously tries to dummy defenders and stuff like that, and it will come back to bite us on the arse. It will do, 100%. I don't have that confidence that he's just going to be able to do whatever he wants in the back. As soon as the ball's passed back to him, he can just try and dummy a defender and dummy an attacker and whack the ball up there. I think it will come back and bite us in the arse, definitely. But hopefully this is all part of his master plan to just build his confidence really and get better with it. But very impressed with him so far. There's been obviously a lot of talk about Leno as well. He's only got about 18 months left on his contract, and there's a lot of talk about whether he's just going to basically be like, see ya. There's no point. There's been a lot of talk about him being sort of shafted as well and being done by this Ramsdale move, because he was under no impression that he was Ramsdale was going to be challenging him for a first sort of place spot, but unfortunately he has. But yeah, exactly. Leno definitely should have played better, but he was caught on camera during the Leicester game the other day and looked bloody upset. He looked so upset and sort of disheartened. But this is where obviously when he played again midweek against Leeds last week, obviously played really well, kept a clean sheet. He's just got to capitalise on the opportunities that he does sort of have when he is going to get a chance to play and in training and stuff. But I do kind of feel sorry for him, but it's showing that hopefully he isn't going to give up on the club, and that the fact that he's shown that emotion is good. It shows that he cares. It's not to be like, okay, fuck it, whatever, I'll just leave. I don't care. But yeah, obviously I've said this in a previous podcast before, but obviously there was a lot of criticism, especially from me as well, about Ramsdale. But he's just proving me wrong at the moment. So yeah.
That's the thing, is everyone like I've seen people saying, oh, like, you know, in the face. It was like, but still, everyone was saying that the Ramsdale signing at the time was overpaid. Like,
100%.
It wasn't overpaid.
I still think it is. Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, fair play. He's proven people wrong, but it doesn't mean that people's initial thoughts of it were stupid or anything like that. It wasn't overpay. If you look at his history, it's been back-to-back relegations with different teams. It's awful.
Definitely.
That's absolutely
he's
awful.
He's very young. He's 23 at the end of the day. He's not exactly got a wealth of experience. And, you know, keepers can play a lot longer than outfield players can. And they tend to a lot of the time. So, I think he's doing well at the moment. Can't really ask for anything more from him. So I'm happy with his performance. It was Saka's 100th game for Arsenal as well. And it seems mad that he's already played 100 games. And he's 20 or... 20 now,
that's pretty good.
But one last thing I did want to say was I did like the shithousery from Ramsdale as well, with the Leicester fans when he was taking the goal kicks, going, "Oh, you're shit!" But he turns around and gives it the old come on. Got involved with it and he loved it. So I did think that Leicester were going to score. To be honest, they definitely picked up the pace during the second half and sort of the back end of the first half, really. But we just managed to just do a solid and keep a clean sheet, which I was happy about. Yeah,
definitely not a bad. I mean, without Ramsdale, I think Leicester arguably probably would have won that game. Yeah. You know, with his saves that he was making. But one thing, Bards, I wanted to throw to you is Brendan Rodgers in danger of losing his job if Leicester don't keep this up?
Oh, is he in danger of losing his job? I thought you were going to say, do I want him? Absolutely not.
No.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, he's done so well the past few seasons. I think Leicester have been punching above their weight anyway, and he done very well to, you know, have them challenging for the top 4 2 seasons in a row. In a weird way, that it's now getting overshadowed by the likes of, you know, West Ham challenging and that sort of thing, and they're kind of replicating the form that Leicester showed for those 2 seasons. I don't think he's in danger of losing his job because he's shown commitment to that post. You know, I think there were talks of Tottenham being interested at first, but he quickly shot those down. I think Newcastle would be interested, but if I were him, and he's probably the same, then he wouldn't go for that job yet. So I think he's got a bit of leeway, and this tends to happen with Leicester because they're not in danger of, you know, I don't think going down or dropping that far.
No,
I think they can still challenge for the Europa League places. So the annoying, I think the upsetting thing is their form in Europe has been just terrible, and like I think I'm crying out to see them do well in like Europa or something like that. I think it would change it up a bit, you know, but
they should have won it by now, really.
I don't think he's in too much danger.
Considering they've been knocking on the door of the top 4 for the last, however many seasons now, 4 or 5 seasons or something. It's been a little while, ever since they won the Prem, really. They've just not been very good in Europe, and you think of the Europa League anyway. Obviously, you say that they're just missing out most years on making that making the top 4, but it's showing that maybe they're not actually ready for that for that Champions League. If they can't do much, if anything, in the Europa League, are they really ready for Champions League? Is it a good thing that they're not actually in the top 4 and taking up one of these Champions League spots, but then they're just going to get demoted into the Europa League after the qualifiers anyway?
I don't really mind, because one of Chelsea, Liverpool, City are pretty much going to win the Champions League every year, I think, for a little while now. So it'd be kind of cool to have someone random in there. But then also Leicester, it's not like they've been knocking. It wasn't like they've just always been out the spots and then, you know, right there, but always finished. You know, always been 5th or 6th. There have been times where they've been 2nd or 1st or 3rd for a significant amount of time in the season and then bottled it and dropped off. So it's obviously like they have the ability to be there and be with the, you know, the big boys of the Premier League, but then they just, something about that team, they're like Spurs, they just bottle it. It'd be interesting to see how they'd finish off this season, because, you know, they could definitely could definitely end up finishing below Chelsea, Liverpool, City, West Ham, United, Arsenal, Wolves, and Tottenham. If maybe even Brighton, if they keep going. Really, do you know what I mean? Like there is all this. If they keep going, there's potential that they slip out the top 10 if things really don't go their way. So yeah, it could be quite interesting to see what happens.
I wouldn't be surprised if the transition, if Rodgers does go, the transition will be Rodgers to, I don't know, literally maybe even Spurs after Conte, so like in a year or so, and then, oh God, slipped out of my mind. The Brighton manager, Graham Potter, to Leicester as that because Graham Potter as well needs that like step up, but I think it's too big a jump to go to
the stepping
an
stone.
Arsenal or so I can definitely see Graham Potter taking the Leicester job after Rodgers is there, similar sort of style of.
I can see him taking the Liverpool job.
Graham Potter,
a massive jump though.
Yeah, it is a massive jump, but I think I could see him say, I think he could do it. He's a great manager. He'd be amazing as your manager.
He is a great manager. Yeah, I mean, look, he's a great manager. The thing is, if I was to see him in the United job, for me, I'd need to see him somewhere else beforehand. I can't just see him at Brighton and then say, yeah, do it, because I think that's
fair enough.
A massive jump.
That's the ego and expectation of a club like that. So yeah, it's a massive difference.
I think if he hadn't have already been there, Moyes would have been a big name to take Ollie's job at the moment.
Yeah, ironically, yeah, he would have been
100%. And the fact that obviously because he's been there, didn't do very well, his name has not been mentioned at all. But yeah, if he hadn't been there in the past and he was doing what he's doing now, he'd definitely be there.
Moyes also got 2 clubs relegated, went to Spain.
Yeah, I think I still wouldn't want him if I'm a United fan.
Yeah,
I wouldn't want him now anyway. But like, if he had never gone to United, but if he had never gone to United, he never would have ended up. He would have never ended up at wherever he did in Spain, and then that because he would have stayed at Everton.
Was it?
Yeah, I can't remember.
Real Sausage,
Real Sausage, that was it. Yeah, yeah. So I don't know how different it would have been, but it would have been interesting for sure. But I mean, like we might as well move on as we are talking about Graham Potter. Obviously, they managed to get a pretty decent draw against Liverpool after being 2-0 down at Anfield.
What a game.
Yeah, it was crazy. I mean, Liverpool were unlucky. They had 2 goals disallowed, I believe, wasn't it? Was it 2 goals disallowed? Yeah. But ultimately, yeah, they were pretty lucky to come away with the point there. And so no, Brighton, not bad. They're not a bad team. They're not like what everyone thought they were going to be when they were 4th for the first couple games, but they are definitely a top 10 team in the Premier League, I'd say now.
Yeah, they are.
And it is down to Graham Potter. They haven't even got that many amazing players, but it is literally down to Graham Potter and his system and how he plays. It's just
he's squeezing everything out of what he's got.
Yeah.
How come Basuma was playing? I thought he'd been arrested.
Played twice now.
Extended bail. He's played twice now. Yeah.
Blimey.
Yeah.
Disgusting.
So that is they have Dunk and they have Basuma in this team. This is the kind of team that we're dealing with here, right? So
Brighton doing Brighton things.
Bloody mean machine.
This is the team. This is the people. These are the kind of people that we're dealing with, right? When we talk about Brighton, at what cost, eh? At what cost is it to be good? But yeah, no. Yeah, they did well. Liverpool not so well, but still unbeaten. The only unbeaten team in the league. No L's in that. No dashes in that L column yet. But yeah, I mean Liverpool. I wouldn't be. I mean they're not worried, are they? Let's be realistic. It wasn't a great outing, but then they went and beat Atletico the other night.
Yeah.
And looked far better in that game. So yeah, I wouldn't worry about Liverpool at all. I am interested to see. Obviously, Salah maybe is not. He is obviously the best player in the world. Do you think he can keep this up for the entire season, basically getting a goal or assist every game?
Yeah,
he's got to take his foot off the gas at some point. I think, even if it's just halfway off or something, he's got to slow down at some point because doing so much in every single game, and especially because they're not just playing Premier League, obviously they are playing Champions League as well. They're going to be playing in various different cups across the season. So I know he won't be playing in most of the FA Cup games or League Cup or whatever it may be. They tend to field a slightly younger team or a less experienced team for those sort of games, but the games will rack up, and that's the most perfect way to get injured essentially. to just keep going at 110% and then not take. Obviously, they're doing their recovery and stuff when they're not playing, but there's only a certain amount of recovery you can do before you do need to slow down a bit and go, right, I don't need to go 110% in every game. Let's only go 80 or 90%, which is still probably a lot better than most other players in the Premier League, to be honest.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, he's got. I'm just looking at stats. It's a bit off the top. It's on Salah, but it's a little bit off. Salah's got 10 goals. Tottenham have 9. Like, that's pretty nuts. Tottenham have 9 goals. Salah has 10. 10 of.
I mean,
it'll
be interesting because the only hope of, I think, of stopping Salah at the minute is the Africa Cup of Nations, which will be next year, I think.
Yeah, well, there's been a lot of talk about it not being on. Them cancelling it. So we'll see how it goes. Obviously, nothing's set in stone yet. But that'll be huge because they're going to.
Goes and gets injured.
Oh wow! Even if he goes, man, they're going to lose Salah and they're going to lose Mane. That's huge.
Yeah.
And Keita, yeah.
And Matip.
Yeah. Where's Konate from? Is he? Do we know?
I'm not sure.
Have a look. But yeah, he may well as go as well. You never know. But that's a huge loss. That's a lot of their team.
It's French.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Slightly, maybe a question for another topic, for another podcast. But just off the top of your heads now, would you say Salah is the best African Premier League player of all time? He's up
probably
there.
Yes.
But
It's got to be between him.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Maybe throw Samuel Eto'o in there as well. As a little honorary.
Not for Premier.
Yeah, as a little honorary mention as. But is it? Did you say just best African or best Premier League, like best African player to play in the Premier League? Or
I said best African Premier League player.
So, okay. So yeah, it would be. Sorry. Yes, I'd say Salah. Yeah, I'd say Salah.
Fair.
No reason.
The affinity for Drogba is strong, but I just think Salah's been unbelievable. You know,
Salah's already matched his amount of goals, hasn't he, or something?
Yeah.
Oh,
That's an argument for the best player to ever put on a Liverpool shirt. Like, there's an argument for that. So
it's probably between, just off the top of my head, him, Luis Suarez, maybe Fernando Torres.
Oh, well, Kenny Dalglish, Ian Rush.
Oh, no, I'm talking about more recent players, not just
okay.
not the legends.
You missed like the main ones.
I'm glad no one said the G word.
Yeah. No.
No, he's not even their best captain. Hendo, isn't it?
Overrated midfielder in English football history.
Oh god, he's awful.
Mark's not able to defend himself.
Yeah, no, exactly. We'll just keep going. But anything else on that Liverpool that game? How long do you think they go unbeaten for? Because that's a sneaky unbeaten run that no one's really talking about.
Bloody hope not very much longer.
Well, when do they play Watford away?
They play Arsenal in a couple of weeks, don't they? There we go. They play West. They're away at West Ham next week, which will be a great game.
Well, West Ham are apparently playing terrible right now.
Oh, they're playing tonight, aren't they?
Are they?
Yeah, and apparently it's not going well. They're playing awful. They're losing 1-0.
Not good. One thing I did want to mention about this game is Oxlade-Chamberlain's assist into the ball into Mane to make it 2-0. That was lovely. He didn't literally only just come on as well. Did he come on? He replaced Keita quite early, I think, maybe only 20 minutes in or something. But yeah, lovely little ball over.
Yeah. It's an absolute ball. And now that Naby Keita has picked up an injury, I'm sure he'll be slotting straight, probably into that starting role. I imagine. I
saw a lot of posts last night after the Liverpool game saying that Alexander-Arnold is the best right back in the world again. I think that's probably someone's watched him play quite well last night.
He's the best right back in England. English right back.
Definitely the best creative right back in the world.
Yeah.
This is the thing, yeah.
But not the best right back.
Yeah, the best right back is a bit of a broad term, isn't it?
I really don't think Reece James going forward is that far off of Trent.
No.
I mean, especially when Reece James is banging in 2 goals.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to move on to that game now, but yeah, I mean, as well as that, he is just and defensively, he just shits on Trent, doesn't he? Like, his versatility as well. he can play that right-sided centre back if you need him to. He can play right wing back. He could play centre mid if you need him to. Where we've seen Trent can't.
No matter how hard Gareth tries.
I know. But I don't know. I think that the Reece James Trent argument is a lot closer than people maybe think it is.
Yeah, I think Reece James has probably got to do it for a longer period, because it has only really been mainly sort of this season where he sort of stepped it up again, and is sort of taking it to a slightly new level. I think if he does it more consistently over this season, then he'll definitely be within a shout for that.
Yeah, but he's doing well so far. Obviously, in the last game, getting 2 goals. He's got 4 goals and 2 assists so far this season. Reece James in the Premier League. Obviously he got those two great finishes. Honestly, like striker-esque fucking.
Yeah. What's going on with bloody Chelsea's wing backs at the moment? Scoring goals left, right, and centre. Ben Chilwell, Reece James.
Lukaku and Werner can't get a goal for love of money. Chilwell and James is absolutely banging them in.
Disgusting.
And like Kovacic is still getting loads of goals. It's mad. But yeah. Chelsea look good. I mean, what can we say about that game? Chelsea looked really good. Newcastle managed to frustrate him till about the 60-something minute.
65th, I think.
Yeah, 65th minute. And then once the first goal went in, they just, they went on from there.
What I noticed was Ziyech obviously had a lot of chances throughout the game and completely fucked them. He came off in the 64th minute and then they score in the 65th.
Yeah. He scored their only goal against Malmo, didn't he, on Tuesday or whatever it was? Yeah. So I'm confused with Ziyech if he's actually good or not.
The Newcastle. I didn't see the game last night, but he wasn't. I don't think he was amazing in the Newcastle game.
Question I want to pose to you guys. Obviously, jump in if you have an answer immediately. But how much do you think Newcastle have to spend in January to stay up?
Oh, great question.
Because they are awful.
I think. Well, I mean, there were rumours today, wasn't there, about getting Coutinho on loan? So I think that will be interesting, whether they're actually spending the money or if they're getting the players in on loan. Because
they need a new defence. More than anything.
The issue is, if you're a player, probably not going to commit right away, are you?
No.
Unless it's for an absurd amount of money. And I assume that anyone that does commit, they have probably a relegation clause in there that says they can be sold for X amount.
Discounted price. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know about money, but I would say they need about 5 or 6 first-team quality players.
Jesus Christ, that is a hard task to do in January.
Yeah, January is not a big selling and buying window anyway. It doesn't seem to be as much that happens compared to summer. Obviously, it's a lot shorter as well. People don't want to lose players.
Stay up players.
That's the thing is though, like with those,
they could probably stay up with less, but if they want to stay up and guarantee.
Well, I think if you're going to get 5 players, 4 or 5 of those 5 players have to be defenders because they have an awful backline that just leaks goals. Yeah. All of these defenders were playing for them when they were in the Championship. So they're a Championship standard defence in the Premier League. They're just never going to do it. And Callum Wilson and St. Maximin can only do so much before these guys just get relegated. I think they've got to spend at least. They've got to spend over.
They're poor man's top.
They'll have to spend over 100 mil to stay up, I think.
Well, that's the thing. There's rumours that they're going to be spending 80 odd mil on one player, let alone 100 mil on a couple of players, and financial fair play and stuff. Obviously, I know they've got a bit more leeway because they've been working on a profit for the last couple of years, but it's only going to take you so much sort of that bit further, and then
they don't even have a manager yet.
Yeah, exactly. There's all these rumours going around about they're going to sign this player and this player. They need to sign a bloody manager before they do anything, because what if that manager doesn't want that player that they're looking to bring in? Yeah. Is it just going to be told by these new Saudi owners, okay, these are the players you're going to sign, and then here's a list of players that we've pre-approved for you to sign or whatever. And he's like, well, okay, well, I don't need I don't want any of these players or whatever. They need to sort out the managerial situation before they start looking at other players.
I do think a lot of Newcastle fans maybe thought, well, not a lot, but a section of them thought that this automatically made them an attractive team.
Yeah,
and it's just not the case, because you've still, like, even now you've got Newcastle with the dysfunctionality of the team and everyone else at the club. Obviously, Mike Ashley's gone now, but there's still a lot of people there that would have been there in the Mike Ashley regime anyway. and they're awfully run throughout. And now they've got a spotlight on them where everything that the manager does that goes in will just be scrutinised by the media straight away, and the fans. We've seen what the fans are like. I know Steve Bruce wasn't a great manager, but we've seen what the fans can do. They drove that man to, like, you know, basically be an absolute shell of a man that he used to be. And yeah, it's
especially given I never understood that, especially given he's from the area and literally loves the club.
I know
it's like
Sunderland,
with Ollie now. He loves the club, so I love Ollie because he loves the club so much. And yet you've got a guy in the dugout who loves Newcastle, loves the city, loves what it stands for, has, you know, and St. Maximin loves Steve Bruce as well. Like, they've got such a relationship. Who's probably the fans' favourite player, and they just drove that man to, like, depression, basically. And,
basically,
got him out of the club. And then Unai Emery's like, nah, don't fancy that.
I was just about to say that. He's come out and said, nope, I'm staying.
I've survived.
They're going to get Eddie Howe. They're going to get Eddie Howe. The man that got the most successful thing he's ever done is get Bournemouth relegated, and then didn't have the balls to take the Celtic job. Yeah. Now he's going to go to Newcastle and try and revamp that. Like, that's no thanks. Like,
and you've seen Eddie Howe with money. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, Jesus. Jordan Ibe for 50 million will be signed.
Dip in straight into Liverpool's youth.
Yeah.
Do you think Nuno's going to be looked at for that Newcastle job?
I think that's too early for him.
Maybe, but I think it's too early now. Yeah, I agree. Maybe in the future, but I don't know if any. I don't know anyone in the Premier League right now is looking at Nuno like, yeah, he can keep us in the Premier League.
Yeah.
Well,
this is the thing: is Spurs is a different level to Newcastle. But yeah, I know what you mean, 100%.
But yeah, I don't know. I'm certainly very, very happy that we did not get Nuno, and we went for Vieira instead. So I didn't think I'd be saying that, but I am.
Well, I remember you were very excited about that, Nuno.
I was very excited about the potential of Nuno. I thought it'd be great.
You did not want Vieira at all at the beginning.
Not at the beginning. Then I thought when he signed, I was like, right, fuck it, let's get behind him.
Yeah, you just got to get behind him at that point. There's nothing you can do.
You got no choice there.
Yeah, you
Nuno
got
had no chance. Having 4 months and not really having the players. Like, he was dealt a shit hand with Harry Kane, basically not wanting to be there.
Yeah,
and
he has got a lot of drops.
Nuno at Wolves though was being linked with high jobs. Like, he was being linked with the United job. He was being linked with, the likes of Chelsea and Spurs.
Yeah, he was given the opposite hand when he joined Wolves. He was given an incredible hand.
Yeah, but the only thing is,
it was like the championship title is yours. Do you want to get paid and sit in the dugout while it happens?
Yeah, and I think a damning thing on Nuno as well right now is how good Wolves look under their new manager, Bruno Lage. He's got them playing so much better football, and now that Jimenez is sort of, he's starting to get a few more goals, maybe feeling it a bit more. They're going to be a force. But yeah, it should be interesting. But yeah, should we get onto some previewing?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. So. Right, well, we might as well start with the big one. Bards, we're coming back to you, my man.
One thing I did want to say just about the reviews was that I cannot remember a weekend where so many goals have been given as offside. Like, so many disallowed goals for offside. There was maybe only 2 games where there wasn't at least one throughout the weekend. It was ridiculous. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's just the new way they're doing it, letting the play run a bit longer before they flag for offside and stuff like that. But it's just becoming so frequent now, and I think, like I said earlier, with the whole Uber situation, the lack of consistency with refereeing at the moment within the Premier League is not good enough, really.
No, it's awful. Yeah, it is awful. There's just no consistency. Things are being blown in some games and not in others. It's just, it's getting a bit ridiculous now. Yeah. But yes, United versus City. Bards, how are you feeling, mate?
Straight after the Atlanta game, I was like Danny Dyer, fucking shitting myself. But as the dust has settled, I am still optimistic.
Okay.
I think that Ollie's got a good record.
Okay.
I think Ollie's got a good record against Pep. I think that the players know it's a massive game. I think Atalanta was always going to be a difficult game. Like, they play great football, and I think no matter what it was going to be, I always would have taken a draw anyway, because I think a draw in the Champions League away from home always a good result, especially against that team. Fantastic, you know. The only issue I do have is what formation we're going to play, because if we're going to play 5 at the back, then I worry because there's not enough sort of discipline, I don't think, in that defence. Whereas I'd much rather play maybe a Rashford and a Greenwood or a Sancho and have them come back to do the counter. So like they act as like backs, but not really, because the four in defence can come tighter.
Yeah,
I think it'll be a good game. I'm optimistic. I'll be happy with a point, like, because it's a massive game. I would be happy with a point, but I just don't.
How do you feel about the loss of Varane?
Yeah, that's a massive blow. Varane's been quality. I mean, I spoke to 2 people who actually went to the Spurs game. I should have mentioned that earlier. They went to the Spurs game and they left on 60 minutes, 60 and 65. But they said when they saw Varane, like, he was just colossus in that defence. He said it shored it up. Like, the passing was great. He was always communicating, and that's something that Maguire probably hasn't done or isn't doing. And Maguire, I'm certain he's injured, but we've got Bailly, and Bailly was immense.
Brain injury.
So yeah, I don't know. I think it would just be good. You know, I don't think we'll get the annihilation that Liverpool gave us. I don't know what happened there, but the players I think will be up for it.
Yeah, I think you got a chance. Obviously, that Varane injury now he's out for a month. Did they say?
Yeah.
A month. So that takes, that's a Watford. Should be out. A City game, the Watford game, Villarreal in the Champions League, then Chelsea, Arsenal, and potentially Palace. That's some. It's going to be some tough fixtures without Varane if that defense is going to be as leaky as it was without him this last time round.
Yeah. No, I'd like to think that Lindelof, Bailly, and Maguire can do the job without him. And they should be able to do the job without him against some of those teams. And we didn't have Varane last year. We kept City quiet or at bay. So yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Do you think there's any possibility of Van der Beek or Sancho getting any minutes this weekend?
I thought Van der Beek actually looked really good when it came on. Unfortunately, I would actually start Van der Beek ahead of Pogba. I thought Pogba was awful during the week, absolutely awful. And Scott McTominay.
Pogba's out there,
fucking hell.
Yeah, he'll be out, won't he? Yeah,
so
that red card
out.
still.
But yeah, I mean, Fred was rested, so he's just going to play Fred, and he'll play McTominay
true.
for that reaon. Which, but yeah, Pogba was awful. So I'd like to see Van der Beek in Pogba's position. I don't think he'll play it because I thought he looked good. Sancho, I definitely think you'll see. Ollie has a tendency to line players up against their former clubs, like he did it with Dean Henderson, and he's done it with, Mark's gone blank, but he's done it with a few others in the team. So I think he'll definitely do that against Man City. I can definitely see that.
Are you worried about Sancho at all? That he's getting that he might end up like a Van der Beek, getting that treatment?
Man, he started slow at Dortmund. He always starts slow at Dortmund, and then he gets into it. Plus, I keep saying to everyone, even though he's English, this is still a new league for him. He's not played in the Prem, so he's still got to adapt.
But he's not playing. He's not playing in the Prem.
Yeah.
He's still not playing in the Prem.
Yeah, but he was, and now he's been bench for a couple. It might be a case of he's doing work in the gym and building himself up, which again I think is a massive thing that players don't realise until they get over here.
Yeah.
Is the actual physicality. They're always like, yeah, I understand the physicality, but look, I'm getting banged about by Haaland every week, so I know physicality. But then as he actually get here, it's people like Ben Mee who's absolutely clattering into you.
That was literally the name I had in my head.
Yeah, the size of Antonio, who's absolutely
true.
A battering ram. So there's a different level of physicality. I think Sancho will be fine. I'm happy with him. He's got plenty of years at the club. We bought him because we did need a right winger. He's got to find his form. So
you're going to start playing him on the right wing.
Yeah,
yeah, he's been playing on the left, hasn't he?
Yeah, I was going to say.
But then that's the thing with them. I do think that he was bought to interchange. Like Rashford can play on the right, Greenwood can play on the right, Sancho can, but they can all play in any of the front 3 positions. The issue is, got Ronaldo, and I love Ronaldo, but I do think there's credibility to it throwing the formation and everything out of whack. He's been great. I'm not saying he hasn't been, but there is definitely credibility to people saying that he has had a negative.
Does it all just come back to the fact that Ollie is shit? Is this what it is? Is it like he's just playing people out of positions, not playing the right formations, all this kind of thing?
Nah, I don't think so.
I still like you, Ollie.
Cheers.
I like him. I'm sure he seems like a sweet soul. Like he seems like an absolutely lovely gentleman. But he's just not a great football manager.
Oh, I'm going to Solskjaer. No, I don't like him.
I think Harry was talking about me.
I mean, you know what?
I'll take back everything I just said.
I don't like Solskjaer. Weird.
You're a sweet soul, Ollie. You're a sweet soul.
Cheers, mate.
Oh, have we lost Bards again? Oh no.
Am I back?
You're back. You froze for a second, but you're back.
We can go on a tangent if we talk about Ollie. So.
Yes. We'll pack that in.
Just one last thing on United. Congratulations, Donny van der Beek. He's been doing something, and it's not been playing minutes. He's been getting minutes under the sheets. But yeah, congratulations. Him and his missus are having a baby.
Yeah. Scored more goals off the pitch than on.
Exactly.
But,
at least he's scoring somewhere.
Yeah, true.
So many comments about it. So many jokes you can make.
Against you.
Huh?
His only goal, I think, has come against you, isn't it? Opening day of
it has. We keep having. We have this. It's a weird trend. We have like the worst footballers score against us. Or their only goal.
To be fair, Yaya Sanogo once scored a hat-trick against us for Charlton. That was if we hadn't won that game, I'd have been.
That's true. Actually, no, it's not that. We have worldy goals scored against us. Like
the
Giroud
scorpion kick.
Kasami, Giroud, Andy Carroll, Dele Alli.
A lot of it happened to be Wayne Hennessy.
They were basically when Wayne Hennessy.
Wayne Hennessy was there. Yeah.
That Kasami 1H. I've thank God Fulham shit. But yes, next biggest game of the weekend is West Ham Liverpool. West Ham, the Irons hosting Liverpool at the London Stadium. This should be a bit of a mad game, I think. I don't know who's going to win, because if Liverpool let West Ham into the game like they let Brighton into the game, West Ham will be far more clinical than Brighton are. So it could pose a problem. I don't know who to start in fantasy. I don't know whether to keep Bowen and Ben Rama on the pitch for this game or not. It's a tough one.
I can't afford to not play Antonio. That's the problem.
Yeah, no, it's annoying, isn't it? But yeah, any thoughts jumping out of people on this game? What do you guys think? And is it a Liverpool certain win, or is it?
I think Liverpool will definitely be up for it because they know they should have beaten Brighton the other day. But this is where West Ham can capitalise on that that draw the other day, the unexpected result. Obviously, I know they've had they won against Atletico last night. Was it last night or the night before? Whenever it was. And that's going to give them some confidence back. But West Ham are doing well this season. They're really taken a lot of teams by surprise. So yeah, I can see this going in any direction. To be honest, Liverpool could absolutely wipe the floor with West Ham, but at the same time, West Ham could win 1-0 or something stupid anyway.
Yeah, no, I could definitely see a result for West Ham in the books here, but
I think Liverpool win this, but I can't see. Sorry, I don't think it'll affect West Ham much after the game. Fixtures coming up.
The thing is, if West Ham win it, they'll go above Liverpool.
Blimey.
Which is nuts. They'll only be 2 points off the top. If Chelsea don't win.
I want West Ham to win, just because I don't want Liverpool to go on a bit unbeaten. But
yeah, it's.
I mean, West Ham right now is 1-1 in that game, so they pulled a goal back. I think what's going to hurt West Ham, I think, is the fact that it's Europa and it's Thursday night. I can't see them. I actually can't see them beating Liverpool, and that's not really because of West Ham. Like, they're playing really well. I just think Liverpool are playing.
Liverpool great, aren't they?
And they're just in form, yeah. So, I think it'll be really difficult for West Ham to win. Maybe sneak a draw, maybe. But I feel like if Liverpool go 1-0 up, then that's it. I think in order for West Ham to draw, they can't concede. Yeah, they can't concede, in my opinion.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No. If Liverpool concede, then they're going to be in a lot of trouble. But yeah. Any more thoughts on this one, my man? Do you think? Yeah. What do you think? I think obviously Naby Keita's out, Harvey Elliott's out, James Milner's out, but that's about it. And I think West Ham have only got Crowell out, so it's pretty much a full fit team for both. You'd imagine. When full firing, maybe not Liverpool because you may be seeing Naby Keita in there this season. Not something.
But you've got to look at the midfield battle. You say Keita and Milner are out.
Yeah.
So that leaves Henderson and Fabinho,
and then probably like Curtis Jones or Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, which is not bad.
Obviously, their game plan is obviously ping out to Mane and Salah at every opportunity. But I don't know, Rice and Souček and Fornals, they seem pretty well suited to stopping that. So it's like being a nuisance to Gatland. No, I think Liverpool are going to win. But
okay.
Of midfields, that it's not easy to stop Liverpool, but as midfields go, they're fairly well suited to giving it a good go.
Oh, definitely. All right, for our next game, where do you want to go? Where do we go next? Do we go Everton Tottenham? Conte's first game. Let's talk about that, shall we?
Conte versus Rafa.
That's it. Everton not having the best time right now, dropping down the table as they have lost their last 3 in a row. Obviously, since Doucouré's gone out, they've got Richarlison back. Calvert-Lewin's still out as well, which is a big hit. I believe that Digne and Gomez are also very doubtful for the game, so they could both miss it as well. Whereas Spurs are pretty much fully fit, aside from Brian Gill and Ryan Sessegnon. So yeah, how do you guys think Conte will go about this first Tottenham game? No one.
Yeah, if no one else is talking, so I thought I might as well.
I haven't thought about it at all.
Yeah.
No one.
I don't know. I think he would probably want to just come out all guns blazing and just try and get off to a good start. Because if Everton beat Tottenham and Conte's, a lot of fans are going to be out there just going, "Oh, here we go again," and just be like, "Oh, great!" Like it's literally going down the same route as what's his name, Nuno was. But I don't know. I think I hope he changes something up, because if he goes out there playing the same formation, playing similar starting 11 to Nuno was, and it's just a case of a bit like, right, well, what's changed other than the name of the manager? They're not doing anything else. But yeah, I think he'll implement some changes. I'm not sure how many, because he won't have that much time with the team before the game and everything. But I don't know, I just think he'll just be coming out to just win by any means necessary, really.
I know everyone says how shit their defence is, but I think his first priority needs to be getting that excitement and joy back into their attack. Mourinho had that recipe with Kane and Son.
You make Kane and then Son unbelievable.
Lucas Moura and stuff as well. Give Lucas Moura his freedom back as well.
Yeah.
Let that man start every game.
Yeah, don't take it. Like, he's easily their third best player right now. And yeah, they take it. You know, Nuno takes it. Obviously, he gets fired, so we know why. You know the result. But
all the Spurs fans were shouting, "You don't know what you're doing." The other day when he took Moura off for Bergwijn. Obviously, evidently he didn't. So he got sacked. But
I mean, I think they'll roll out with probably a 3-5-3. I imagine is something they'll roll out with. That works, doesn't it? 3-5-3. Is it? No,
unless you got Lloris playing up.
3-5-2. Yeah, something like that, or like a 5. Yeah, I don't know. It'll be something like that. Basically, very similar to what he played at Chelsea and what he played at Inter Milan.
Yeah,
I think it's Reguilon and Emerson Royale used as more wing backs, I imagine.
Who's that lead centre back?
Dyer, Sanchez,
Romero.
Sanchez, yeah.
Romero. And the thing is, Romero, he played in the back 3 a lot of last season. So at
That's
Atalanta,
what he's going to be used to.
It's what he's used to. He is, you know, I think he's starting to find his feet in the Premier League. And he was the best centre back in the Serie A last year. So he's got to be a good player. He is a good player. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I think like going back to when they played Tottenham and you see Antonio just shrugging him off. Obviously, I know Antonio's a big, strong guy, but I think this is where it comes down to the level of fitness required to be in the Premier League as well. I think it does take a little while, that sort of transition period where you come from Serie A, you might be the best defender in the Serie A, but you come to the Premier League. The Premier League is a whole different kettle of fish, essentially. You need to work on your strength, you need to sort of get fitter and sort of become a sort of more complete all-around sort of a stronger player, really.
Yeah,
I think he might be doing that sort of behind closed doors, and maybe in a couple of games' time he might look a bit more convincing. But he seemed to be struggling a little bit.
Work for everyone.
No, exactly. Definitely.
Yeah, but I think Spurs will win this game. I think that they're going to want to fight under Conte to show him, they're fighting for jobs now. They were comfortable under Nuno, but they're fighting for their lives now. We know what Conte's like. He's an absolute bastard. He's one of the most polarizing characters in world football right now, up there with Mourinho, and it should be interesting to see.
He really reminds me of John Travolta, like nowadays John Travolta.
What, shooting people?
Like no, that Alec Baldwin, mate. Alec Baldwin.
Oh yeah, true.
Oh yeah.
I'm talking like John Travolta in versus AJ.
Huh?
He's John Travolta in People vs AJ. He's
yes.
So he's got that weird kind of glazed look in his eye. Some kind of, you don't completely trust him, but he's good at what he does.
Yeah, I think they'll be fine. I think Everton, on the other hand, mate, they are in free fall without Doucouré and Calvert-Lewin. Who'd have thunk it that Doucouré is like? I know he's a great player, but I didn't know that he was literally integral to. I thought Alan had a bit more about him than.
Yeah. He's currently the cement holding their house together.
Yeah, man, it's a shame. I think if they don't kick on, they've got a few hard games coming up as well. They've got Tottenham, then they've got City, then they're away at Brentford, then at home to Liverpool, then at home to Arsenal, then away to us, and then at home to Chelsea, and then away to Leicester. Jesus Christ. Yeah, they've got some tough fixtures coming up. So if they don't kick on, they might drop down to like 14th, 15th, where Villa is sitting right now. But yeah, I expect Tottenham to get the win there. As for Chelsea-Burnley, I don't think we need to say too much on this. I think Lukaku, Werner, Mount, and Kovacic could be out for this game.
I need Lukaku back scoring goals.
Yeah, they could be out for this game, which means Havertz going to get another chance to do nothing. Burnley, on the other hand, good game. I mean, I don't think, did anyone expect Burnley to beat Brentford 3-1?
I don't think we predicted that in the preview podcast that we did. Cornet versus Brentford, but
yeah, of course. But yeah, they're looking better. A bit feisty, a bit frisky team, but a bit more than we thought maybe this season. But
Sean Dyche has been saying for the last couple of games, we're not far off. It's coming. We're not far off. And a lot of people are going, you keep saying you're not far off, but you're not winning. And now, obviously, they've got that win. He said in the post-match sort of press conference, he said, "Oh well, I told you, but we weren't far off." And now here we are. This is what we're going to try and bring forward, and sort of use that game as a sort of the benchmark. Basically, we don't sort of play any worse than what we did there, and we keep pushing on and becoming better and better. But obviously, I know it's Burnley. They haven't been impressive over the course of the season. The most impressive thing they've done was when they beat Brentford, really. But I don't think Chelsea are going to have too many issues.
No, me neither. I think they'll get the job done. It's at Stamford Bridge.
Yeah. You see, Chelsea had a number of key players out in the Norwich game and still battered them 7-0.
Yeah, exactly. And then again in the what did they just play? Newcastle game, and they won 3-0.
Took a little bit longer to get started in that game, but they got there.
Very true, but they got there in the end. Yeah, I expect Chelsea to get 3 points, stay top of the league. If they don't, it'll be awful. But as for you guys, Watford, I know it should be a win. You're at home, should be a win. But Watford, you don't know what you're going to get.
We might actually lose this game because it's a typical Arsenal situation. We go on a sort of an unbeaten streak, and then we come across a team that we should easily beat, and then we lose. So wouldn't surprise me if we lost. I'm going to try and be a bit more confident. I think hopefully we should keep a clean sheet and score hopefully 2 or 3. But who knows? Watford seem to be a little bit better than they were at the beginning of the season.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I think they're just still adjusting to life under Ranieri.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't expect them to. I don't expect them to win. I think you'll win comfortably. I think you'll win like a 2-0 or something like that. I don't think it'll be anything crazy. Assuming that Ramsdale wasn't a one-game wonder.
I hope not.
Yeah,
that would be so funny.
It would be jokes, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Imagine if he's rubbish for the rest of the season.
Well, to be fair, he
gets dropped for Leno.
I wouldn't say he's a one-game wonder, because the games that he's played so far, he has been good. I think the Leicester game, he was another level of sort of better. But I wouldn't say he'd be a one-game
It helps
wonder.
when the free kicks are shot in the middle of the goal, though, doesn't it?
That's what I was saying.
Well, that's right. Is what it is. Still good save.
I actually think Arsenal will win. Yeah, I mean Watford had a great result, fantastic, but I think that's the classic Ranieri effect, isn't it? And then at the end of the day, it's Watford. they yo-yo, don't they? So. And Arsenal are in good form. You cannot dismiss Arsenal's form, to be honest. It's funny at the start, but something's clicking, and their defence is staying tight, and their attack is good. We've got some great players. Saka hasn't reached that form yet, so that could always come to fruition. So, yeah, I think Arsenal are comfortably winning this one.
Yeah, I think so. But I think having I think we are the youngest team in the Premier League at the moment, in terms of on average of our starting 11s that we've been putting out. We are the youngest team, and I think that's where the level of doubt does start to creep in, just because, like we've seen with other games, like we score one and then we sit back and then we obviously invite all this pressure on us. We've been getting better at that and we're dominating for longer games, but having such a young team, that those experienced players that do come in do have a big impact on what's going on, and these young players might not be as confident, and they need to just build that in sort of slowly and get that bring that to a new level, so we can actually play with confidence, as opposed to playing with confidence for a certain period of the match and then just all that confidence then disappearing. I think we're not as competitive over the full 90 as I'd like to be, but we're getting better. I don't doubt that, but like I say, I've been burnt too many times being an Arsenal fan and getting my hopes up, so I try not to.
Yeah, I don't blame you, man. I don't blame you. But yeah, if you don't, you got to get the win. You got to get the win. I'm sure you will. But it should be. Well, I don't think it'll be that interesting of a game, to be honest. I think it will just be Arsenal getting the business done. As for the next game, we'll talk about my team, because why not? Palace at home to Leeds. At home to Wolves. Obviously, both teams Palace coming off the big win against City. Wolves coming off a good win at home to Everton. But yeah, I'm excited for this one. I'm expecting it's going to be a tough game for sure, but I think we'll win. I think we've shown enough. We can do this. If we can keep a clean sheet away at the Etihad, we can keep a clean sheet at home to Wolves. It will be interesting to see if I imagine we will set up differently. I mean, Kiarte and Ayew started in that game against City. I imagine it will probably move back to Luka and Olise for this next game. Hopefully it's not bloody Ayew starting on the wing, because I don't mind them when it's against like a City or something like that, when we do have to be more defensive. But when we're actually going forward, his decision is the worst I've ever seen. Genuinely the worst I've ever seen decision making wise. I don't know what it is. He shoots from the wildest angles. I'm like, bro, you're just not good enough, man, to make those shots. So why are you taking them on? I know you're supposed to be confident in yourself, but it gets to a point where he's got to be like, look, I'm just not that guy. I need to lay it off. I've got Edouard, Olise. Olise's played like 4 games and he's already done more than Ayew has this season. Do you know what I mean? Like, aside from that one season where Ayew was actually pretty decent a couple seasons ago.
Yeah. I think Ayew's he's changed as a player. I think in that season where it was good for you guys, he was good. He was the guy scoring the goals, and he was what you needed at the time. But now he needs to adapt with the team, and he's not really that goal scorer anymore, but he does do other things very well. Like he holds up the ball really well, and he is strong, and he does
good at getting fouls.
Yeah,
so good at getting fouls.
Exactly, and there's a number of Palace players that are, Zaha being basically the top one. So yeah, I think he just needs to adapt with the rest of the team, and obviously Vieira needs to say to him, right, this isn't what we want you doing anymore. We don't want you taking all these shots, but we do want you doing this and using what you are good at to our advantage, or to your advantage.
Hopefully he listens, but I imagine hopefully Olise will start. I'd love to. We haven't seen it starting yet. I don't. No, we haven't. I'd love to see a front three of Zaha, Edouard, and Olise. Potential that Eze makes a return to the team this week. He played 60-something minutes in the under-23s during the earlier on in the week. So there's potential. Maybe he's on the bench. Maybe he comes on for 20 minutes or 10 minutes, depending on how the game's going. But I wouldn't be surprised if we miss him for another week. But yeah, I feel good. What do you guys think of this game? Do you think? Well, obviously, I think Wolves have a chance, but do you think Palace are the favourites here, as it is at Sellers Park? We are unbeaten at Sellers Park so far this season.
I think it could be a great game because Wolves are playing Wolves are pretty good at the start of the season. They were looking good. They just weren't getting the results, and they've had some good results. So I think it will actually be probably one of the games to watch on Match of the Day, if anything. And yeah, I think it will be interesting to see how Palace's front three work against a hard-fought Wolves team who are going to defend but can also pose a lot of problems themselves. It's one thing playing, I know Man City is extremely difficult, but when you're playing a team kind of on your level, your mentality is a lot different. But yeah, I think it'll be a fantastic game. And to give you an update in unrelated news, West Ham have just gone 2-1 up.
There we go. Lovely.
Nice. That's good. I kind of want them to win the Europa League this year. I think that'd be quite good. But yeah, H, how do you feel for this game, man? Do you think who's taking the points, or are we splitting them?
I'm finding it hard to separate them. I think the key thing is how Vieira sets Palace up, because Wolves, they seem to be setting up the same way every game, and it's been working for them recently. And they haven't had the hardest fixtures in this run they've had, but they are playing good stuff.
Can I give you my starting 11 that I think will start and see if it sways you? If it helps you in any way. So I think Gaeta will start. I think the back four is the back four. Ward,
I'm joking.
Ward, and Ward has been such an unsung hero considering how much he's had to change his game at the age that he is, and is putting in an absolute.
I think when you went up, probably no one thought he'd be in the team longer than a year or two.
His debut, we were rock bottom of the championship, and we went to Preston and lost 4-0. Was his debut, and now obviously we're doing he just beat Man City 2-0 and kept a clean sheet.
Been with you 8 years in the Prem.
Yeah, exactly, man. He's been there. This is his 10th season altogether. I thought, or 9th actually. I think 9th. But yeah, no. So yeah, we then Anderson, Gay, Tyreek Mitchell, another unsung player this season who's been absolutely fantastic, young player. And then probably I'll probably go Luca, J-Mac, and Gallagher. And then I think that it'll go Zaha, Edouard, Olise. But it's weird. Zaha's been playing through the middle even when Edouard's been on. Edouard's been playing down the left quite a lot, and he's pretty good at it. So I'm interested to see how that's going to keep going. But yeah, I don't know if that sways you at all, H. But I think that is most likely the probable starting team.
I'm going to plump for a draw.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
If Wolves can control the ball the way they did against Everton the other day, then it'll be hard for Palace to break down. Although Palace do have a lot of players who are really good on the ball.
Yeah.
So it could end up cancelling that. Could be a really good game. Could be a terrible game.
Yeah.
But I think it'll be close, whatever happens.
Yeah, I agree with you, to be fair. I think it'll be a good game. I don't doubt that, but I do think you'll probably just cancel each other out, really. I think it'll be a draw.
Yeah, Bards. Wait, well, I had you, Bards. I have, haven't I?
Yes.
You've had to, yes. I'm backing the boys, obviously, as it goes. I think we're going to win. I think we're going to keep a clean sheet. I think our defence is low-key very, very good. I think Mark Gay is a massive omission from the England team that should have been in there. I think Ben White is as well. How Tyrone Mings and Connor Cody got into that team, yeah. Ben White and Mark Gay didn't, will baffle me to the end of time. But yeah, I think we're going to come away 2-0. I think we'll see another goal from Wilf, and I think Edouard will get a goal this time. Right, who's left? Oh, kind of a big one. Leeds at home to Leicester. Both teams not doing as well as they probably would hope that they would be doing right now. Obviously, Leeds very much in the relegation battle. I know we've been speaking about this, but we haven't necessarily had Bards and Harry. Do you guys see Leeds as a relegation candidate now? So we are 10 games into the season. We're a good portion of the way into the season now.
I don't think they'll go down, but I think they are a candidate, absolutely.
Yeah.
But
go ahead.
Well, the old, well, not proverb, but the like football cliche. You look at the table 10 games or so in, and generally a pretty good indicator of where teams are going to finish up.
Not this year.
So
I don't think this year is a bit of a weird one.
Oh yeah, it's quite a close league this year, but
yeah,
I think it's similar to
Leeds,
last year.
They have to take it seriously for sure.
I think the league's sort of panning out similar-ish to last year, really. But I think it was a bit of an odd mix at this point last year. There wasn't really any clear there wasn't anyone running off with the title or anything at this point in last year. Obviously, I know we're only 10, 11 games in, well, 11 games this weekend, so we're not far in, but there's no clear cut they're definitely going to win, or there's a couple of people that you can choose for relegation, but I think it's going to be a close season.
I think it will be same really. I think it will be close. I do think Leeds are in trouble of being found out, but Bielsa is a good coach. I know I do joke about him, but he is a good coach. But it will definitely be interesting to see their next few games. I think the indication is that around Christmas you're going to find out what Leeds have turned up, and if they're being found out week in, week out, it's going to get to a point where that's quite demoralising. But sometimes, as Ollie's done, the best thing to do is just shut up shop and say, you know what, I'm not conceding this game. We're literally going to work from the ground up again. And I can imagine Bielsa being that kind of guy to just be like...
They do call him Madman El Loco, or whatever his name is his nickname, isn't it? But,
exactly. I've got to jump off, boys, but I will leave you on this as well. Souček has scored an own goal. It is now 2-2.
Oh, Jesus.
Goodness.
It didn't happen in the Prem.
You get that out of the way in the Europa League H for you, mate.
Yeah.
Catch you soon.
Have a good one,
man.
We're going to be wrapping up here anyway in a minute, people. Don't you worry.
You are now currently showing as Dan on the.
Me?
No, Harry is. But let me see if I can quickly change that for you. Boom! There we go.
Oh no, it's all right. It's all right.
No, mate, you're Harry again.
Oh, Del. That was unfair.
Manchester United. I love all
He's not even from London.
No. He's from.
You guys are from London,
right?
He's more of a Cockney geezer than you guys.
He's from Manchester, right? He must be because he's a United fan.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah, he must be.
I like our kid, Bardell.
But I'm just gonna before we go, I'm just gonna run through these last games quickly. I just want to get a quick win, lose, draw. Who do you think? All right, for these last few games. So we've got Southampton at home to Aston Villa. I'm coming to you straight away.
Villa. Definitely.
Villa, okay.
Big
Ollie.
Villa win.
Villa.
I'm going to back Villa as well. I just don't like Southampton. I don't see them winning. Brentford at home to Norwich.
Brentford.
Oh, yeah. Brentford easy.
I'm going to say...
Norwich don't get any points.
I was about to give Norwich some credit for that. Brentford.
I was going to say, that's going to be a very
different
Norwich
podcast.
I said I would not give Norwich any praise in this podcast until they get relegated, and I stick with it. And the last one, Brighton at home to Newcastle. Maybe a bit more of a difficult one. Maybe not. What do you guys think?
I'm going to plump for a Brighton win.
A Brighton win. Nice.
I think they get 1-0.
I'd say the same. They're going to be on a high after getting a result that they probably didn't expect against Liverpool. So, yes.
think that's a safe way to look at it. But I'm gonna go draw. I think Brighton have got a leaky backline. I know they have Basuma left, but no one likes Basuma anymore, rightfully so. And I just think Newcastle, Callum Wilson can just score goals, innit? Like, they can be doing absolutely nothing the entire game and he'll still just somehow go and get a goal. So I could just see them scoring. And I'm going to say it's a boring 1-1 draw for two boring teams. But yeah, that is it, guys. That's it for this sort of a bit longer, about an hour and 40 minutes, I'd say, altogether.
Yeah,
this
just
podcast.
under.
An old school podcast.
Yeah, I'll before we go, I will apologise to the fans for the up and down sort of the weird amalgamation of what this podcast has become of previews and reviews and all that kind of stuff. Just for this week, while it's been a bit hectic for everyone here, but we will be back next week with Tuesday and Thursday again. Streams for you guys as usual on Twitch, with them coming out on Wednesday and Saturday for people on Spotify, YouTube, all that.
Please send all of your complaints to TFL, Travel for London, because it's their fault.
Or Mark.
Mark. Speaking of Mark, he's not at work this week, and he's not even on the podcast. So,
did we kick him out?
I think it's probably about time.
Is it about time?
It's the right thing to do.
I didn't realise he was ever actually officially part of the podcast. Sorry.
We'll run a poll.
We were doing it and turned up.
I think we'll run a poll on our Instagram, see if we should boot Mark or not.
Should we boot Mark or not?
We've spoken a lot about him on the podcast, and he's not mentioned anything to any of us, so I don't think he actually listens either.
I don't even know if he's watching either.
No, outrageous game,
It is outrageous.
Disgusting.
I heard it through the grapevine. He actually downvotes videos.
Oh, goodness.
I don't know if that's true or not. Obviously, no smoke without fire.
Allegedly.
But I've heard that.
I mean, no smoke without fire. No smoke without fire. I mean, that's how it goes. But Mark. Well, we'll know if Mark listens, because he'll definitely have something to say about this if he is listening.
If someone downvotes this video, you know who it was.
We know who it is. Right. Bye, everyone. You know what the drill is. You have to like, subscribe, hit notification bells, follow, whatever it is. You know where it is. Instagram, Facebook, all social medias, basically. We're on...
right up there.
Yeah, it's all above us. I know I'm going through it again, as always, but it's right above us. YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, Twitch. Follow us on everything, because why not? Leave comments, email us, whatever you want. We don't put our email out, but email us. And yeah, we'll see you soon. Mo Farah signs for your head tops, and I will see you guys soon. Bye.
Bye.